गिरिवरधारी जय गोपीजना गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनतीरा वनचारी यमुनतीरा वनचारी जय राधा माधवा कुंज बिहारी जय गोपीजन गिरिवरधारी यशोदानन्दना व्रजजनरञ्जन यशोदानन्दन व्रजजनरञ्जन यमुनतीरा वनचारी हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे 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 कृष्णा कृष्ण कृष्ण हरे 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 राम हरे कृष्ण 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. Okay, let's begin. So we had stopped where Prahlad goes back home after finishing his studies, right? He goes back home, and what does he do in the Gurukul when he is there studying in the Gurukul? Anybody knows what does he do in the Gurukul? Does he listen to his teachers and study what they teach them?
No,
No. What does he do?
he teaches other students.
Yeah, Haribol. Yeah, he
Yes, sir.
teaches.
He teaches them.
Uh, and then he converts all of them into Krishna conscious devotees, right? So very
Yes,
nice. And how old was he when he went to the Gurukul?
five, 5 years.
5 years. Yeah, very nice. Thank you, Amita Mataji. Hari bol. So yeah, he was just 5 years old and he converted all of them into devotees, right? All demoniac people into devotees. Then he goes back home, finishing his studies, and then his father takes him onto his lap and shows that fatherly affection, right? And shows and starts asking him, so my dear child, what did you learn in your study school? He starts out of curiosity, he starts asking. And what does Prahlad reply to this question? Anybody knows?
He says that Vishnu is the source of everything.
He says that. And then what exactly does he say when his father asks, what did you learn?
He learned about the nine, this
Ha,
Saranam, Kirtanam, Vasu, Shivanam.
Haribol, yes, exactly. He talks about the nine. Haribol Mataji, thank you so much. Yeah, he talks about the 9 processes of devotional service, right? Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Vandanam, Archanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Right? And also, yeah, that's where we stopped. Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam, Atmanivedanam. Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu Bhaktis Ena Navalakshanam. This is very important. Navalakshanam. These are the 9 processes of devotional service. And if you do any of these 9 processes, then you will get attracted. I mean, you are actually offering devotional service to the Lord, right? Hmm. And then after hearing these words, Hiranyakashipu becomes very angry. Okay, he is like, "What? I sent to Shanda and Amarka not for this, right?" And then he starts behaving in a the original demoniac nature comes out. He starts behaving in a more in very bad way with his own son, right? Just because he disobeyed him, right? And he considers Vishnu to be his enemy. That is the most that is the whole problem here. Okay, so he considers Vishnu to be his enemy. Okay, so he is like, my son has taken the shelter of my enemy, so he's very angry with that. And then he's like, saying devotional service is nonsense, right? He doesn't know the taste of devotional service. That's why there are a lot of people know who taunt when you chant. When you talk about Krishna, they taunt. They say Krishna is just a mythological character. He's just a superhero, like Spider-Man, superhero. He's also right. That's what people say, right? But why do they say that? Is because they do not have the taste. When we devotees, when we talk about Krishna, when we hear Krishna Katha, or when we chant the Hare Krishna Mahamantra, we develop some sort of taste, right? So that's why we are still doing it. See, we all start for some reason. Maybe somebody has asked us to chant, or out of curiosity we go and start chanting, right? Or somebody is forcing us to chant. There are so many reasons why we start, but how do we survive? How do we consistently, persistently take this up as a routine and follow this lifestyle? It's because of the some kind of taste that we get, right? Some kind of taste, we naturally start getting that taste, some kind of happiness. You cannot describe, you cannot explain, right? That is why we survive in it. Otherwise, we all would have ran away. After first session, second session, we would have ran away. Oh, what is this? I'm not getting any happiness, right? So that happiness, how do you taste? Not everybody is getting that happiness, no? The happiness that our senior Vaishnavas are getting, we are not getting, right? When they chant, they experience some sort of bliss, and they go out of this world altogether. But we are not getting that happiness. When we chant, it's still forced only. Oh, my Guru Maharaj has asked me to chant, so I'm chanting. That is the kind of chanting we do. Why aren't we experience the same level of happiness? It's because Prabhupada gives, no, there is an analogy, jaundice. When a person is jaundice, right, when he is suffering from jaundice, even if you give sugar candy to that person, he will not get the sweet taste only after eating sugar candy, because he's jaundice. Once the jaundice cures, no, once he gets cured, then he will be able to taste the sugar candy. Now, right now, we are all materially diseased, right? Same way, like we are all affected by this material desires, no, sense gratification. That is also jaundice, right? Prabhupada compared. That's why unless we get cleansed of all the material desires that we have, we will not get ruchi. We will not get taste, right? Taste for chanting. That's why it is only after anartha nivritti, only after you develop the right attitude towards chanting, only after you consider chanting to be the only most important thing in the world, then you will start getting firm faith, nishta. Then you will get ruchi, okay, ruchi or taste for chanting. Taste is called happiness. So that time you start getting happiness, right? So Hiranyakashipu does not get that happiness when he hears the name of Krishna, right? But Prahlad is getting that happiness. So this is the difference between a devotee and a non-devotee, right? So Hiranyakashipu, says, I mean, Shukracharya says, okay, Shukracharya comes into the picture and says, whatever your son Prahlad has said was not taught by, him or by me or anybody else, right? Not in the Gurukul that you sent. Therefore, you need to give up your anger. So he's getting angry on the teachers, right? Shanda, Amarka, Shukracharya, and everybody. So now that's why he's saying we did not teach all this, right? So you need to find out who taught him all this, right? So Prahlad says, because of their uncontrolled senses, persons too addicted to materialistic life make progress towards hellish conditions and repeatedly chew that which has already been chewed, right? Puna puna sarvita charvananam. So puna puna sarvita charvananam means material desires. We know we get sufferings ultimately. Like for example, drinking. Okay, say these alcoholic drunkards, no, they are so addicted to drinking. They know very well the lungs will be getting affected, their livers will be damaged, their kidneys will be damaged, right? Their whole respiratory tract will be affected by drinking and smoking so much, right? Still they will not give it up. Still they will not give it up. They will still continue to do, right? Why? For that momentary happiness. When they drink, they will forget the world, right? And they will go to another world altogether. So for that momentary happiness, they are not able to give it up. And after they drink and after all that ecstasy has gone, again they come back to the normal state. right? So it's gone. It's not permanent, right? Again, if they want such kind of happiness, they should again drink, right? So that is what, Prahlad is saying, Puna Puna Charvita Charvananam, always eating, chewing the chewed, chewing the chewed. You know very well it's not going to give you any happiness. You still go and do it. You go back to it. You go back. You keep going back to it, right? So this is why, because this is due to the addiction to materialistic life. Hiranyakashipu. Anybody knows what is the name? What is the meaning of the name Hiranyakashipu? You're not able to unmute. Yeah. Who knows what is the meaning of the name Hiranyakashipu? Yes, Amita Mataji.
Hiranya means gold.
Huh. Kashipu means
Hiranya means gold. I think bed.
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 Haribol. Yes, very nice. Hiranya means gold and Kashipu means bed. Okay, that means those who like to enjoy a lot, all comforts. Gold represents opulence, money and all that. Bed represents comfort. Okay, higher level material comfort. So that is what, he's a character. He's characterizing such people. Such kind of qualities, going behind material opulence and material comfort, right? He's so addicted to it, and that's why he's doing all such demoniac activities, right? Even Bhagavad Gita says, right? Bhogashwara prasaktanam taya pahrita chetasam vyavasayika buddhi samadho na vidhiyate, right? So without if you do not have the steadfast determination only on Krishna, if your mind deviates to material elements and material enjoyment, like even devotees, when some devotees today, when I went to the temple, right, there were newcomers to the Sunday feast. So I was talking to them, and they said, you know what? So if I come to this ISKCON temple every week, I'll get promotion. He was looking for promotion in his job, right? So he was like, so if I come here and chant 16 rounds and all that, do I get promotion in my job? So I was like, okay. So they are still on the material platform, right? So Bhogashwara Prasaktanam Tayapa Hrita Chetasam. So their main focus is material desires, which Krishna easily fulfills, right? You don't even have to ask Krishna for it; he will fulfill. He is maintainer, right? Goptritva Varanam. He is the sole maintainer of all of us, right? So he knows what we want, what we do not want, sitting in the heart of as Paramatma, and he will fulfill that automatically. You don't have to perform austerities for that, right? Even if you do not ask for it, he will give you. Like Dhruv Maharaj, he performed severe austerities just for his father's throne. But when Dhruv Maharaj saw the Lord in front of him, he forgot what the wish only. He forgot that he needs to ask Krishna for a bigger throne, for kingdom, property, and all that, right? But Krishna still understood what he wants, and he gave it. He gave something eternal, Dhruva pole star, right? The same way, you don't even have to ask for it. Krishna knows, and he will fulfill, right? So what is supposed to be our ultimate focus? Our ultimate focus is on getting him, getting Krishna, right? Arjuna and Duryodhana go and ask like Krishna for help, right? Mahabharata is going, war will start. What can Krishna give us, right? So they go. Duryodhana asks for Narayani Sena, but Arjuna says, I don't want anything. I just want you. You be my side. You be by my side. You come and you just be with me throughout the war, and that's all I need. I don't need anything else. So Krishna promises, I will not be using any weapon because I have given Narayani Sena to Duryodhana. I will not be using any weapon to support Pandavas. So Arjuna says, I don't want your weapon. You just come. Just your presence is enough, right? So that should be our goal. Just seeing the Lord, serving the Lord, just pleasing the Lord, making him smile, impressing him by our devotional service, taking care of him. That is what our real goal has to be, right? And then persons who are strongly entrapped by the consciousness of enjoying material life, who have therefore accepted as their leader or guru a similar blind man attached to external sense objects, cannot understand that the goal of life is to return home back to Godhead and engage in the service of the Lord. This is exactly what we are talking about. The goal is higher. There is a higher goal, right? The goal is to get out of this material world, not make plans and stay here, right? The goal is to get out of the material world, right? So if we need to go back home, back to Godhead, we need to choose a person who's already seen the home Godhead, right? And that's why only such persons can serve as guru, like Prabhupada, disciples of Prabhupada, all the sannyasis, right? They have seen the truth. Jnaninas tattva darshinaha. And what we should do, we need to see the Godhead through them. Only they can show us. Like guide. When you visit tourist places, right? You don't know what is that place all about, right? So you hire guides, right? Because they know, they stay in that place, they know very well in and out of everything about that place. So they will explain, and you see that history through them, right? When they explain the history of that tourist place, you will see all that, you will start imagining, and you will see all that through the travel guide, right? The same way, guru is a person who is been there, who knows things, who's done things, who knows the truth, right? And we need to go back home, back to Godhead through them. They are going to take us, right? So we are not supposed to accept another blind man attached to external sense objects as guru, right? We need to, that's why only we need to first check the qualification of guru before accepting them, the disciplic succession, their practice, their sadhana. Even in ISKCON, the minimum criteria to preach is you need to chant 16 rounds. If you're not chanting 16 rounds, however, how much ever shastras you know, how much ever shlokas you know, you might be a pandit, you are not allowed to preach. 16 rounds is minimum. That is the minimum criteria. So if you ask another person to chant 16 rounds, you should be doing it first, right? It's not always about preaching. You need to do what you're preaching, right? Otherwise, it's just hypocrisy, right? So unless they smear upon their bodies the dust of the lotus feet of Vaishnava, completely freed from material contamination, persons very much inclined towards materialistic life cannot be attached to the lotus feet of the Lord, who is glorified with uncommon activities. Only by becoming Krishna conscious and taking the shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, it is in this way can one be free from material attachment or material contamination. Anartha nivritti, right? First is Shraddha, you all believe in God, so we are all here. Then it is what? Sadhu Sangha, right? You associate with devotees. Once you have faith in Krishna, you will find for people who have similar faith and higher faith and start associating with them. So to know more about Krishna. Once you understand a little more about Krishna, what do? Bhajana Kriya. You start worshipping Krishna. Oh, Krishna is so great. I need to worship. Right? You take guidance from them and you start worshipping Krishna. Then comes Anartha Nivritti. Fourth stage, right? Anartha Nivritti is where you have to cleanse yourself. Right? Material contamination. We all have so much of attachment, affinity for material enjoyment and desires, right? So we have to cleanse. That is called anartha nivritti. That is where all of us get stuck. Like literally all of us get stuck there because it's very difficult to overcome this. And how do we overcome? Prahlad has taught us, right? Only by fixing our mind and taking shelter at the lotus feet of the Lord, right? At the lotus feet of the Lord. That's when um, we can overcome this material contamination, and then we can cleanse and go to Nishta stage, right? So after Prahlad Maharaj had spoken this way, Hiranyakashipu was blinded by anger, right? And he slapped him. Got it. So and pushed him away also, right? And then indignant and angry, his reddish eyes like molten copper, Hiranyakashipu said to his servants, take this boy away and kill him. Can you imagine? All that fatherly affection gone in a moment, right? He was so sweet to his child, right? He took him on his lap and started patting him and showing a lot of love and affection. Just once he retaliated. I mean, Prahlad disobeyed, right? And all that fatherly affection gone. So this is how materialistic people are. They go by what they see, right? They do not. There's something. There's a proverb. Okay, you shouldn't just go by what you see blindly. You need to think. Understand different people's perspectives. Get into the shoes of the other people. Then only come to a conclusion. You shouldn't simply go by what you just see blindly, right? And that's how materialistic people are because they are blind. They are blind by their strong affinity or liking for pride. Everybody should praise me. Okay, everybody should tell me I'm great. Everybody should appreciate my work. Everybody should listen to me, appreciate me, follow me. Whatever I say, they need to do it, right? This is called hankering for pride and all this. Okay, so materialistic people are like this. They want to become lords. That is why we are all here. No, we wanted to imitate Krishna, become mini Krishnas. That's why from Goloka we came to this material world. And now we are undergoing Janma and Janma of suffering, right? So Hiranyakashipu was exactly like that. He represents us. Prabhupada says that Satya Yuga, there was only one Hiranyakashipu. In Kali Yuga, there are hundreds and hundreds of mini, small Hiranyakashipus. All of us are Hiranyakashipus, right? So we all need Prahlads, to purify us. And one easiest way of getting such Prahlad is reading Prabhupada's purports. Reading Prabhupada's purports. Purports, we have so many purports, so many Prahlads to purify us, right? So we need to associate with the purports. Only then we get purified, right? So when Shanda and Amarka, the sons of Shukracharya, observed all that students, the sons of the demons, were becoming advanced Krishna consciousness, because of the association of Prahlad, they were afraid. They approached the king of demons and described the situation as it was. Now everybody is afraid of Hiranyakashipu. So even Shanda and Amarka, they are also afraid because all the remaining students have also become devotees. So definitely Hiranyakashipu will not spare the teachers, right? So now, after Shukracharya explained all this, now Hiranyakashipu understood what the entire situation is. Now he knows Prahlad is the culprit. Okay, according to Hiranyakashipu, Prahlad is the culprit, right? He is the one going and giving Krishna consciousness to everybody, and according to him, he is spoiling everybody. Okay, by supporting Hiranyakashipu's enemy, right? That is the perception of Hiranyakashipu. So Hiranyakashipu naturally is a demon, so he's very cruel, right? So now he's a child. His very own son is disobeying him, so he's very cruel. Insulted. He feels very insulted, and he mercilessly orders everybody to kill him. Right? Kill Prahlad, his own son. Right? According to Prahlad's age and behavior, he was not to be chastised. Yet, with staring crooked eyes, Hiranyakashipu rebuked him with the following harsh words. See, children who are below five and below, they are not supposed to be chastised. They're not supposed to be scolded. They're not supposed to be even, they are supposed to be pampered. That is the age where we need to pamper them. Okay, that's because children, no, before 5 years, they are supposed to be pampered because they do not know what is right, what is wrong. They are equal to, like they are very innocent. They are very very innocent. So they are very good at heart. Naturally, they are very good at heart. Okay, so they are not supposed to be killed or chastised or anybody. But Hiranyakashipu, he is least bothered about the scriptural injunctions, right? So he says, kill him, and he is harassing him. He is scolding him with harsh words, pricking him, right? And then different ways his servants start, attempting to kill Hiranyakashipu. Prahlad, right? What are some of the ways they use to kill Hiranyakashipu? Prahlad. Anybody knows? They try killing him in so many ways, no? What are those ways? No one knows?
Snake pit,
Huh. Snake.
and in the fire with his
Yeah.
sister Holika, fire,
Yeah. Then?
poisoning him,
Yeah,
poisoning him.
poison. Then? Elephant also. Haribol Mataji, thank you so much. Yeah, so elephant also, right? So they put him under the legs of elephant and try to kill him that way. So you can see in the picture, right? Snakes, they get snakes to bite him, and then they put him under the elephant's foot and try to kill him, right? In so many ways they try to, and then as Mataji said, poison. They gave him poison, right? And they put him into the fire. They push him off the cliff also, a tall mountain, right? They push him from the mountain, and so many ways they try to kill him, right? And Hiranyakashipu, every time Prahlad escapes death, starts scolding Prahlad in harshest of the words. No father will scold his son that way, right? And that too for not doing any mistake, right? So he scolds him with the harshest of the words every time he escapes the death, right? And Prahlad says, and Hiranyakashipu also says, who is, what is it that is protecting you, right? How are you? What is that force behind your fearlessness, right? How are you so, outright he is rejecting his father's instructions, right? So, what is it that is giving you this so much of strength, right? So, Hiranyakashipu is inquiring. Okay, so Prahlad says in return, the source of my strength. Please mute yourselves. Please mute.
The same soul.
Yeah. So Prahlad says the source of my strength and the source of your strength is the same, right? See how beautifully he says the source of my strength, of which you are asking, is also the source of your strength. Can you imagine? Right? All the demoniac activities that Hiranyakashipu is doing, where is that energy coming from? Right? It's again Paramatma supplying. Right? Paramatma is the one who fulfills the desires that we have. Right? So the source of my strength is also the source of your strength. That is Sri Vishnu. Right? So indeed, the original source of all kinds of strength is one. He is not only your strength or mine, but the only strength of everyone. The only strength of everyone. Right? Krishna also says, I'm the strength in the strong. I'm the intelligence in the intelligent. I'm the ability of a man. Right? Krishna says all this in seventh chapter. In seventh chapter, he says all this. Right? I'm the ability in a man. Whatever we are able to do, where is that ability coming to us from? It's Krishna who's supplying it. Right? He's the essence of every creation in the material world. Can you imagine? Both spiritual world and material world, he is the essence. He is the very soul essence, right? So whether moving or not moving, chara or achara, superior or inferior, everyone, including Lord Brahma, is controlled by the strength of the supreme personality of Godhead. All right. So, my dear father, please give up your demoniac mentality. Do not discriminate in your heart between enemies and friends. Make your mind equipoised towards everyone, except for the uncontrolled and misguided mind. There is no other enemy in this world. Can you imagine? See, look at the kind of words Prahlad Maharaj is talking. Right? He's saying, um, the only enemy that we can have in this world is our uncontrolled and misguided mind. Mind can be our enemy, strongest of the enemies and best of the friends as well, right? Best of the enemies and best of the friends as well. Krishna talks about it in Bhagavad Gita 6th chapter, right? And Prahlad Maharaj is also saying the same thing. What is he saying? Only uncontrolled and misguided mind can be an enemy for us in this world. Nobody else. We give reasons, no, when we are not able to do something, we start blaming others, right? This person did not let me do it. This situation did not let me do it. I have that problem. I have this problem. That's why I'm not able to do it. Right? It's just, even NND Prabhu always says, if you really want to do something, you will do it. If you do not want to do it, even if you have all the facilities, you will not do it. You will not do it. Right? The same way, if you really want to do something, you will do it. Okay. And if you do not want to do it, that's when you let your mind control you, and get carried away by thoughts and everything. Right? So Prahlad is saying, make your mind equipoised toward everyone, right or wrong. Sitoshna sukha dukkeshu, right? Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita. The happiness and distress that we get is just like how seasons pass, how seasonal change occurs, right? It's monsoons, and then summer season, winter season, right? Again, rainy season, summer season, winter season, right? You will not have summer all year round, right? It's not possible. Same way, if you get happiness, come on, there should be distress also after that. Distress follows. And when distress is there, happiness will follow, right? So when there is night, definitely sunrise has to happen. And once the sun rises, sun has to set, right? It's always this way. You do not expect only happiness in your life. Do not expect only distress in your life, right? So we need to be equipoised. Happiness, distress, summer season, rainy season comes and goes, right? We do not have to, those changes shouldn't bother us, right? Our mind should be focused at serving Krishna. What is the purpose of our life? Why did we take birth? Why are we here? Why are we given this human form of life? Only to serve him. Are you doing that? That should be the focus, right? Whatever happens, it just happens based on our karma and others' karma, the people whom we associate with, their desires, our desires. Based on all of these things, things keep happening, situations keep happening, right? But in all the situations, are you doing what you are meant to do? This human body is machine, no yantra. And what is this machine made for? Is this machine doing that? That should be the goal. That should be our, mind. Only that way we can control our mind. There is no other way, right? Determination has to be there. Otherwise, it's impossible. Krishna helps those who help themselves, right? If you do not help yourself, even Krishna cannot help you, right? You should first make up your mind. You should first decide, right? You should have that determination of going forward and achieving him, right? Dhruva Maharaj is the best example for that. 5-year-old kid, and he still goes to the forest and undertakes tapasya, standing on one leg. One leg. 5-year-old kid stands on one leg for 6 months and sees the Lord ultimately. Where is that energy coming from? Determination. Krishna gives you energy to fulfill your desires, right? If your desire is to progress in bhakti, he will give you energy to progress in bhakti. If your desire is to enjoy material things, he will give you energy to enjoy material things, right? So choice is yours. That is the little freedom Krishna has given to us, right? So we need to choose wisely. When one sees everyone on the platform of equality, one then comes to the position of worshipping the Lord perfectly. So in former times, there were many fools like you who did not conquer the 6 enemies that steal away the wealth of the body. What are these 6 enemies in Kali Yuga? Anybody knows? Who are the 6 enemies that we have in Kali Yuga for all of us? You can put your answers in the chat also. No one knows?
Lust, greed, anger.
No. Those are 3.
Lust, what is lust? Anger.
Lust, anger is correct. Greed is also correct in a way, yeah. And the rest 6?
काम क्रोध लोभ मोह मत्सर
Yeah.
काम
I
क्रोध
will.
लोभ
Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya.
मत्सर
Right? Very nice. Thank you. Right? So Kama is, as Mataji said, lust. Krodha is, as Mataji said, greed. And Lobha is, as Mataji said again, Krodha is anger and Lobha is greed. So Kama, Krodha, Lobha is lust, anger, greed. And there are 3 more to it. Mada, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. Right? Kama, Krodha, Lobha, Moha, Mada, Matsarya. These are the 6 enemies that we have in this. So Matsarya is the jealousy, and Mada is getting addicted to a lot of things, and Moha is again one form of lust only, it is, right? Getting attracted. So all these things are Moha is pride. So all of these things are enemies of Kali Yuga people. Kali Yuga people, they just have these 6 enemies, and these are all in the mind. That's why mind is considered to be the best of the enemies for Kali Yuga people. Right? So this is what we need to overcome. And lust, anger, greed are 3 gates to hell. This we learn in Bhagavad Gita, right? Lust, anger, greed are 3 gates to hell, right? So if you are lusty or greedy or angry all the time, you go to hell. So they open doors to hell, right? So uh, so sad, these demoniac people do not even know that these are their enemies. They do not even know they have these problems, right? It's ignorance. It's called tamoguna. They are so ignorant. They are blind. They do not even know that they have these 6 enemies in their life, right? If only when we know what is happening, we can find out the solution, right? They do not even know because they are blinded, right? So that's why Prahlad says these are fools. Fools are very proud, thinking I have conquered all the enemies in all the 10 directions. But if a person is victorious over the 6 enemies in the equipoise and is equipoise towards all living entities, for him there are no enemies, right? This is the one of the qualifications to become Jagat Guru also. You need to first control yourself, and entire world you can control. If you control yourself, no, your mind, if you take your mind under your control, when you overcome these 6 enemies, you can control the entire world. You can become Jagat Guru, right? It's given in Nectar of Instruction. That's why we call Prabhupada as Jagat Guru. Why? Because he controlled his mind and he made entire world obey him. Today, entire world is following Krishna consciousness, right? And so many disciples are also following the same path and bringing more and more people into Krishna consciousness, right? The enemies are merely imagined by one in ignorance. So Hiranyakashipu replied, you rascal, you are trying to minimize my value as if you were better than me and controlling the senses. This is over intelligence. I can therefore understand that you desire to die at my hands. For this kind of nonsensical talk is indulged by those about to die. See, right? So Hiranyakashipu is still in illusion. This is the problem of ignorance, tamoguna, right? They do not know what is happening around them, and they start hallucinating themselves, right? So he's thinking Prahlad is trying to minimize his value. Prahlad is just trying to bring Hiranyakashipu to the right track, right? And he's saying, Prahlad also says, right? If you do not want to help yourself, if you do not want to make up your mind and decide, nobody can help you. Nobody can help you, right? So, but Hiranyakashipu is not able to understand all this, and he says, "I will kill you." Right? And so, yeah. So now, Prahlad, I mean, Hiranyakashipu starts asking Prahlad. So you said my source of energy is your source of energy and all that, right? So, yeah, nice. Mada is pride, yeah, and Moha is attachment. Very nice. Thank you, Prabhuji. Yeah, so he says, my source of energy is the same, and your is also your source of energy, right? So where is that source of energy? So Hiranyakashipu has we've reached the climax, okay, the conclusion part of it, and so Hiranyakashipu is now very eager to see that source of energy, right? He says, so where is he? I don't see him anywhere, right? Why is he not present before me, right? And he says, where is he? Where is he? Then and Prahlad says he's everywhere, right? He's all pervading. So then Hiranyakashipu says, okay, if he's all pervading, why am I not able to see him? He should be everywhere, right? I'm not able to see him. And then there is a pillar right in front of him, right? So Hiranyakashipu says, so if he's all pervading, he's everywhere, he should be in the pillar also, right? Is he there in the pillar, right? So because you were speaking so much nonsense, I shall never sever your, I shall now sever your head from your body. Now let me see your most worshipable God come and protect you. I want to see it. See, he's challenging Prahlad, right? And now, being obsessed with anger, Hiranyakashipu, who was very great in bodily strength, has chastised his exalted devotee son Prahlad with harsh words, cursing him again and again. Hiranyakashipu took up his sword, got up from his royal throne, and with great anger struck his fist against the column. So now Hiranyakashipu just wants to see Vishnu, right? That source of energy that Prahlad is talking about, right? So what does he do? He gets up from the throne and he strikes the pillar, right? He cuts open the pillar. And now, just because Prahlad said Krishna is everywhere, he says, okay, he should be there in this pillar also, right? Cuts open and then comes, Narasimha Dev out of it, right? Now, anybody knows why Narasimha Dev comes out from a pillar? Why from that particular pillar that he struck? Why not from other pillars? No one knows?
Narasimha Dev was in every pillar.
Yeah, then he could
Was
have
in
come out
every
from
pillar.
some other pillar, no?
No, because I should touch the pillar, no? That's why he came from that pillar.
Yeah,
He
why
was
did
in every pillar.
Hiranyakashipu touched only that pillar? He could have touched other pillars, no? No
That's
one
why.
knows? Huh.
No.
So Hiranyakashipu selected that pillar. He could have selected other pillars. There were so many pillars, but he selected that pillar and then he struck and then Narasimhadev comes out from that particular pillar only because Prahlad says, yes, he is there in this pillar. So Hiranyakashipu asked Prahlad, so this pillar is he there in this pillar? Prahlad says, yes, he is there in that pillar, right? And that's why Narasimhadev comes out from that pillar. So Narasimha Dev is called Bhaktavatsala, right? Krishna is called Bhaktavatsala because he is ready to do anything for his devotee, anything for his devotee, right? And that's why mm, he came out from that particular pillar only because Prahlad said yes, he is there in that pillar. Just to make Prahlad's words true, he came out from that particular pillar. Can you imagine, right? He took the chariot wheel and he went to kill Bhishma, right? In the war, Krishna promised that he will not take weapons. Still, he took the chariot wheel and he went to kill Bhishma, right? He broke the promise just to protect his devotee, right? And Krishna says, Name Bhakta Pranishyati, right? In Kaunteya Pratijanahi, Name Bhakta Pranishyati. In Bhagavad Gita, he says, what does he say? Declare it boldly, Arjuna. My devotees will never perish. Why is he asking Arjuna to declare it? because Krishna can go to any level to make their, to make his devotees' promise, true, so that his devotees' words can come true. That's why Krishna says, I can break my promise, but I cannot break the promises that my devotees have made. I will ensure my devotees keep up that promise, right? And that's why he says, you declare boldly that my devotees will not perish, right? So he can go to any extent to make his devotees' words come true. That is the whole beauty of Krishna, right? Krishna is not, he's least bothered. He's like, people will laugh at me for breaking promises. People will criticize me. I'm okay with it. Okay. But to protect my devotees, I can go to any extent. See how that is called Bhakta Vatsala, right? That is Krishna. Nobody in the material world can behave that way, right? It is only Krishna, right? That's why love exists only in the spiritual world. Love does not exist in the material world. Love does not exist in the material world. Even between mother and child, it doesn't exist. When the child is small, maybe it exists to an extent. Okay. Again, it's a mirror. It's a reflection of love in spiritual world only. It exists little bit. But when the child grows up, it will not exist even between the mother and child. It starts fading. It starts becoming lust. My child is not listening to me. My child is not taking care of me. Expectations start. Ego starts. Right. And there is no love as such. It's just lust, right? So that's why Krishna, I mean Narasimha Dev comes out with fearful sound, right? From the um, pillars. Okay, so now, yeah, all the demigods and Brahma also start hearing the fearful noise. Okay, and then they thought, they did not know what was happening. They thought, okay, fine, the dissolution has started. The material, all our planets will start getting destroyed. That's what they thought, because the voice was so fearful and so fierce, right? So to prove the statement that his servant Prahlad was substantial, in other words, this is what we just discussed, right? To prove that the Supreme Lord is present everywhere, even within the pillar of an assembly hall, Supreme Personality of Godhead Hari exhibited a wonderful form never before seen. The form was neither that of a man nor that of a lion. Thus, the Lord appeared in his wonderful form in the assembly hall. This is going back to the boon, the blessing that Hiranyakashipu wanted, right? With so many specifications, right? I don't want a man to kill me. I don't want any species among these 84 lakh species to kill me. I don't want to die in the day. I don't want to die in the night. I don't want to die on any day of these 365 days. I don't want to die inside the house, outside the house, morning, night. So many specifications, right? Just to equate, he thought he will equal all this, immortality, right? He wanted all these things to make up for his immortality desire, but he did not know Hari is more intelligent than him, right? And he knows how to kill, how to fulfill. Again, one more evidence that Krishna will fulfill his devotees' promises, right? Brahma gave him the blessing, right? Yes, all these things will happen. That's what Brahma said. All the specifications will hold true, right? Just to again prove Brahma's words true, Krishna takes the form of Narasimha Dev and comes, right? How many seconds would Krishna take to come in the form of himself, like two-handed form of Krishna or four-handed form of Vishnu, Narayana, and come and just send Sudarshan and kill Hiranyakashipu? How many seconds would it take for him? No, he did. He took all the trouble and took up this distinct, peculiar form, Narasimha Dev's form, and then he came to kill him. Why did he do that? Again, to make Brahma's words true. Brahma is a devotee of the Lord, right? So he can do anything just to make his devotees, words come true or promises to be true. Got it? So that is why Krishna is called Bhaktavatsala. He is great, right? So you can see in the picture, this is the form Narasimha Dev takes, right? You can see 8 hands, right? 8 hands holding different weapons, also sword and mace and so many different weapons to just tear and kill all the enemies. He also owns Sudarshan. He also owns conch shell, lotus flower, and everything, right? And then finally he comes out of the pillar in the form of half lion and half human form, right? You can see the face is of lion and the body is of human, right? So this is why he's called Narahari. Nara is human, and Hari, right? And Hari is the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Nara is the animal form, and the human form. We are all belonging to animal and human form, right? So species, right? So Nara and Hari. So Nara represents the Jiva Tattva, Hari represents the Vishnu Tattva. So together it is Nara Hari. So that's why Narasimha Dev comes, and Nara Simha also. Nara represents the human, and Simha represents the lion form, right? So he comes out. Adishesha also comes. You can see, right, to serve the Lord, and then he comes, and Hiranyakashipu tries to fight against the Lord. This is the most, the what do you call, the extreme degree of ignorance, right? Extreme degree of ignorance. It's called Avarnatmika Shakti of Maya, the external potency of the Lord. No, she has, that is Durga Devi. Okay, she has two types of potencies or energy that she puts on us. Okay, one is Prakshetatmika Shakti and the other one is Avarnatmika Shakti. Avarnatmika Shakti is the covering, right? Oh, I can. Who is this? I can fight. I'm very strong. So that's what Hiranyakashipu is thinking, right? I can fight. What is there? I will. I'm very strong. I've got blessings from Brahma, right? I have conquered even heavenly planets. No. Everybody is my servants in this world. So I'm very strong. This is called the covering, right? Blinding ourselves, right? So that is Avarnatmika Shakti of Durga or Mahamaya, right? And so this is exactly what Hiranyakashipu had underwent that time. Avaranatmika Shakti. He was covered, ignorance, right? And he tries to go fight against Narasimha Dev. Even after seeing the fierce nature of Narasimha Dev, such scary, appearance of Narasimha Dev, still he goes and fights. He tries to. And you think Narasimha Dev will spare him? No. If you, even at that particular time, that moment, if Hiranyakashipu had surrendered to the feet of the Lord Narasimha, Narasimha would have forgiven him. Definitely Narasimha would have forgiven him, right? Why he says, no, Sarvadharman Parityajya Mam Ekam Saranam Raja Aham Swam Sarva Papebhyo Mokshashyami Mashucha. Surrender unto me, I will free you from all your sinful reactions, Krishna says. Right? Even if Narasimha Dev Hiranyakashipu had surrendered at that moment, after insulting Prahalad, after doing all this, right? Narasimha Dev would still have forgiven, or at least Prahlad would have forgiven his father, and because Prahlad had forgiven, Narasimha also would have forgiven, right? But what did Hiranyakashipu do? He was least father to surrender. He went and fought against him, right? And finally, what happened? He killed, right? He was killed. He Narasimha Dev sat on the entrance of the door, right? Neither inside the house nor outside the house, and then use the nails to kill, because the boon was, the specification was, I do not want any weapons to kill me, right? So he used his own nails, right? So he used his own nails and tore open his flesh, right? You can see the stomach was tore open, and intestines. He took out the intestines. You can see in the picture. He made intestines into garlands and he wore it around his neck, right? And he was roaring out of anger and right, and blood. The entire, the palace was just flowing. Blood was like streams, no? The blood, river of blood. You can. There was the river of blood, and then he's so angry, right? And Hiranyakashipu was killed in a second. In a fraction of a second, he was killed. Yeah, how come Hiranyakashipu failed to understand Brahma was born out of Lord Vishnu? In fact, all boon given by Brahma is only by the order of Narayana. Exactly. Demigod worship. That's what Krishna also says, no, in Bhagavad Gita. When demigods give you something, you go to Lakshmi, ask her for money, she will give you money. Where is she giving it from? She goes to Krishna. She says, so and so devotee is praying for money. Shall I give? Right. Then Krishna says, okay, sanctioned. Yes. Then Lakshmi Devi gives you. You go to, say, Saraswati and ask her for education. Who is giving you that education? Devi again goes to Krishna and says, so and so devotee is asking me for this. Can I please give? If Krishna says no, she cannot give. If Krishna says yes, then only she can give. Krishna has to ultimately sanction, right? So here also Brahma, the boon that Brahma was giving Hiranyakashipu is again sanctioned by Lord Narayana only, right? This is called Avarnatmika. Hiranyakashipu was covered. He was completely covered. He couldn't see, right? Even when Narasimha Dev came in front of him, that Avarnatmika Shakti was so strong, the Yogamaya Shakti covering, he did not even recognize that he was Lord Hari. He was still thinking, oh, this is just different species, some half man, half lion species. I need to go and kill him. That is what Hiranyakashipu was thinking. Okay, so it's very difficult to overcome. No, Krishna says in Bhagavad Gita, no, Bhaktya mamapi janati, avajananti mam muda, right? So manushim tanumashita. So he covers the curtain of Yogamaya covers. Krishna doesn't reveal himself that easily. Why should Krishna reveal to non-devotees? Right? It's Krishna is not easy, right? Krishna is not easy to achieve, right? It's not cheap, right? Achieving Krishna is not cheap. You don't we need if we have to afford it, we have to pay a lot. What we need to pay? We need to pay our faith, we need to pay our love. These are the two things Krishna wants, faith and love. If you pay lot of faith and love for Krishna, Krishna reveals himself, right? Atah Shri Krishna namadi na bhave grahyam indriya sevonmukhe hi jihnada swayam eva hi spurati yada. Sevonmukhe hi. So once you start serving the Lord, turning towards service attitude, right, with love and devotion and affection and faith and all that, then swayam eva hi spurati yada. Swayam, he reveals himself automatically. Otherwise, he's covered, right? So that is what is happening over here, right? And you can see Prahlad is standing right there. He's seeing everything that is happening, right? That 5-year-old kid is seeing everything that is happening. He's just seeing it. He doesn't even know what is, he's just seeing it. He's just seeing it with his eyes open. And then all the demons and entire kingdom is, Narasimhadev um, kills everybody in that demoniac kingdom, because everybody is demons there except Prahlad and Prahlad's mother Kayadu. Everybody is a demon there, right? So he kills everybody, and he just clears off that kingdom completely, right? So many hands you can see. Initially we saw only 8 hands. Now you can see so many hands, right? And just to kill all of them. With each hand, he's killing so many people. He's lifting them, and he's just killing them. So fierce. This is called Ugra Rupa, Ugra Narasimha, right? And then what happens? Demigods also arrive there. Now they know what is happening, right? So they know what is happening. They along with Shiva and Brahma, see the Lord with such anger, that angry state they had never seen before, extreme anger, right? And nobody is even, they are very scared. Now everybody is killed. Hiranyakashipu is killed. Narasimhadev is just sitting there, right? Now all the demigods are so scared to even go and approach him, to talk to Narasimhadev, right? Narasimhadev is still breathing hard. He's still angry. That he's not cooled yet, right? So that's why everybody is scared. Now nobody is willing to go. Even Shiva and Brahma are getting scared. So what does Brahma do? Brahma goes and talks to Prahlad. He says, Prahlad, you're very sweet, young little boy. You've won the heart of Narasimhadev, right? So you go and talk to him. You go and please the Lord. You can appease him. Nobody of us can, but only you can, because Narasimhadev came for Prahlad, came to protect Prahlad, right? So Brahma says, you go and appease him. You go and talk to him, right? And Prahlad did not get scared at all. He was this 5-year-old looking at that fierce form. Even after seeing that fierce form of the Lord, he still did not get scared. Can you imagine? Right? And he just went. He went. Right? He went towards Narasimhadev with folded hands and offered respectful obeisances. Right? You can see in the picture. You can see Narasimhadev is still angry and fierce and all. And the moment Brahma sends him, you can see over here, four-headed, right? Chaturmukha Brahma. Sends Prahlad, and Prahlad just goes with folded hands, right? Bowed head. He just goes without even thinking, without even a second thought, right? Just goes towards Narasimhadev. And the moment he goes towards Narasimhadev, he falls to his feet, right? Offers obeisances. And Narasimhadev picks him up, puts him on his lap, and embraces him. Can you imagine? Right? Embraces him. You can see in the picture. Immediately, Narasimhadev smiles. All that anger is now disappeared. Just by seeing this little devotee, his anger is disappeared. Right? He takes him onto his heart and embraces him. Right? Yeah, exactly. And then Prahlad starts offering prayers to Narasimhadev. Right? So this is one thing we need to understand. All devotees, right? How are they becoming special? Is because the moment they see the Lord, they offer prayers to the Lord, right? And that is the way we develop a relationship with the Lord. We need to talk to the Lord. Talking to the Lord is what is called offering prayers to the Lord, right? And different devotees come up with different prayers. All the prayers are exalted, just like the devotees. All the prayers are exalted. That's what we are doing in Saturday's Sadachar class. No, we are doing different prayers, Kunti prayers, Dhruv Maharaj's prayers, and so many different prayers, right? So much to learn from each of that prayers. What is making that particular devotee special is because of the quality of prayers they offer to the Lord, right? We cannot offer Bhagavati Uttama Shlokir Bhaktir Bhavati Vaishtaki. So we cannot offer the choicest of the words, and we do not even have that vocabulary to select nice words and praise the Lord. So that is why we need to learn the prayers of the devotees and pray him through their prayers, pray to him through their prayers, right? And Prahlad also starts offering prayers to the Lord. And see Narasimha Dev, so cute, right? He, all his anger is disappeared and he becomes so nice and towards him. He puts his palm on the head of on Prahlad, right? And the same hands were like weapons, right, to tear open Hiranyakashipu's skin and kill him, drink his blood. But those same hands, when they touch Prahlad, they become cushion-like, so soft, right? So soft the palms are. So for devotees, Narasimhadev hands are like cushion, lotus petals, so soft. But for demons or any or disobedient non-devotees, it's like weapon, right? So that is the difference Narasimhadev wants to prove here, right? See here, he's putting his head. So now he's pleased with Prahlad Maharaj's prayers, and now he puts his hand on the head of Prahlad, right? And Prahlad asks, now that Lord is pleased and he's smiling and all, Prahlad now asks for two things. One thing at least, right? What does he say? He starts feeling guilty now. Okay, Prahlad is like, oh, maybe because of me only I'm the cause of my father's death. What is this, right? Devotees should always be nice to everybody. I made my father die because of me and all that he's thinking, right? So Prahlad is in guilt. So now he asks Narasimhadev, can you please deliver my father? Right? Can you please deliver my father? That means what? Can you give my father moksha? We will be completing, okay? In another 5-10 minutes, we will wind up. So now Prahlad says, can you give my father moksha? Forget about, forgive him for all the sins that he's performed. Committed, sorry, and all the bad activities, qualities that he had, disrespect towards the Lord and all that. Can you please accept, I mean, forgive all that, and then give him moksha, as in liberate him, deliver him, take him back home, back to God, take him to your kingdom, right? That's what Prahlad says. And you know what Narasimhadev says? Anybody knows what Narasimhadev says when Prahlad asks this?
21 generations of yours have been delivered.
Haribol. Very nice. Not just your father, generations and generations of your forefathers also are delivered. Just because of you, Prahlad, all your forefathers are also delivered, he says. Right? 7 generations, 15 generations of your forefathers are delivered. One devotee in a house is enough. All the forefathers, all the fathers, and everybody will get delivered, right? A lot of us face problems at home, right? Parents are not allowing us to progress in our devotion service. They don't like it when we sit and chant. Or relatives comment, friends comment, wife comments, husband comments, children comment, right? Some people do not even support. They do not even allow you to do what you're doing, right? The rules that we have, onion, garlic, and all, family is not supportive. They're like, okay, fine, you don't eat, I will eat onion, garlic. And they don't let you even, they don't cook separately for you or something like that. All these problems they have, right? But understand one thing, one devotee in our family is going to deliver everybody. Okay, everybody, even those people who are not supporting you, your parents, your relatives, or whoever it is, right? They might not support you because they do not know the scriptures. They do not know, but we know, right? They do not have faith. You have faith, right? Right? So you need to be steadfast in your devotion service. When you can't do something, I already told you, determination is what is important. When you're not able to do something, you have so many obligations and problems at home. You need to have the strong desire to do it. It's not about how well you're doing something. It's about how strong is your desire to do that, right? When your desire is strong, Krishna sitting in your heart as Paramatma gives you energy, right? Changes the situations, makes them in favor, favorable to you, changes the situations, and then helps you, makes way, and makes you achieve that, whatever you want to do, he will help you do it, right? You need to have sincerity. Sincerity in desire is what is very important. Intensity and sincerity. Intensity is how strong your desire is. Sincerity is faith. Okay, with sincere attitude, without having any material desires, only to please the Lord, we need to do whatever we are doing, right? And then Krishna will make way, right? That's what Narasimha Dev said, right? Because of you, everybody will get delivered. One devotee in a family is enough. Entire family gets delivered, right? Delivered. The person who is commenting on your devotional service will also get delivered. Can you imagine? Right? So that is the power of Krishna. That is the power of Krishna. That is the power of having a devotee in your family. Right? Do not discourage your children. Encourage them. Right? You yourself also, progress more and more. Try more and more. Start chanting. That is the only way. Krishna says, for Kali Yuga, it's only chanting. If you say you are a devotee, you need to prove that by chanting. Okay, not just by praising the Lord, glorifying the Lord. All that is there. That is all secondary. Chanting the 16 rounds is the main thing, right? When Lord Narasimha Dev saw the small boy Prahlad prostrated at the soles of the lotus feet, he became most ecstatic in affection towards his devotee. Raising Prahlad, this we all saw, right? He upon the Lord's head, because a boy's head, placing the palm, hand on the boy's head. His hand is always ready to create fearlessness in all of his devotees, right? And by the touch of Narasimhadev's hand on Prahlad's head, Prahlad was completely freed from all material contaminations and desires, and as if he had been thoroughly cleansed. Therefore, he at once became transcendently situated, and all the symptoms of ecstasy became manifest in his body, his heart filled with love and his eyes with tears, and thus he was able to completely capture the lotus feet of the Lord within the core of his heart. Prahlad Maharaj fixed his mind and sight upon Lord Narasimhadev with full attention in complete trance. With a fixed mind, he began to offer prayers in love in a faltering voice. Right? So now we are seeing what prayers he offered. So always remember one key takeaway of this entire Leela is a devotee can deliver anybody. Okay, so the best gift you can give to your family is by progressing in your devotional service, so your family is getting benefited. Remember that. We say, no, I have responsibilities towards my family. I need to do that. I have a daughter, I have a son, I have parents, I have wife, I have husband, I need to take care of them. The real way of taking care of them is by progressing in your devotional service. When you progress, you actually spread that vibe to them. They will also become devotees. If that is not possible, still fine. They are anyway getting benefited. They are getting delivered. Even forefathers are getting delivered. If you really want to take care of your family, give them some gift. Progress in your devotional service, right? So Prahlad starts offering prayers, right? So what does it say? If a Brahmana has 12 of the Brahmanical qualifications, but it is not a devotee and is averse to the lotus feet of the Lord, he is certainly lower than a devotee, right? You might have all the good qualities. I just told you, no? I have, as a father, I have responsibility. As a daughter, I have responsibility. Yeah, we are all striving towards fulfilling those responsibility. But so you have all the good qualities. Yes, but if you're averse to the lotus feet of the Lord, you are certainly lower than a devotee who is a dog eater. A devotee who is a dog eater is still higher than such a Brahmana. Can you imagine? Prahlad is saying all this, right? So, Brahmana, and such a devotee is even so. But if a dog eater gives up all the bad qualities and becomes a devotee, then he is even higher to a Brahmana, right? The purificatory process has to begin by chanting. Okay, so yeah, and the Lord is always satisfied within himself by and he's therefore when something is offered to him, the offering by the Lord's mercy is for the benefit of the devotee. For the Lord does not need service from anyone to to give an example, if one's face is decorated, the reflection of one's face in the mirror has also been decorated, right? So we are all parts and parcels of Krishna. If we are making Krishna happy, automatically we will also be happy, because The example we saw, no, if you are decorated, your reflection will also be decorated, right? You don't have to go and specifically separately decorate the reflection, right? Same way, if you're serving Krishna and making Krishna happy, you will also be automatically happy, right? Because you're all parts and parcels of the Lord, right? Therefore, although I was born in demoniac family, I may without a doubt offer prayers to the Lord with full endeavor as far as my intelligence allows. Anyone who has been forced by ignorance to enter the material world may be purified of material life if he offers prayers to the Lord and hears the Lord's glories. Right? Shrinvatam Swakata Krishna Punyashtamana Kirtanaha. Right? Only by hearing about the glories of the Lord, Krishna Katha, right? That's where we get purified. It's very important. That's why Shravanam Kirtanam is very important. When you chant, you're actually doing Shravanam and Kirtanam. When you chant, no, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Hare Hare. You're chanting, that is Kirtanam. You're hearing the mantra that you're chanting, that is Shravanam. Both two in one process, that is. That's why it's very powerful. That is the only process we need to follow in this Kali Yuga to get liberated. Harinama, Harinama, Harinama Eva Kevalam, Kalam Nastyeva, Nastyeva, Nastyeva Gatar Anyata. There's no other way. Only chanting Harir Nama is the only way, right? So, cease your anger now that my father, the great demon Hiranyakashipu, has been killed. Since even saintly persons take pleasure in killing of a scorpion or snake, all the worlds have achieved great satisfaction because of the death of this demon. Now they are confident of their happiness, and now they will remember your auspicious incarnation in order to be free from fear. Right? So now he also says, I have been put into the association of demons as a result of my activities, and therefore I'm very much afraid of my condition of life within this material world. When will that moment come when you will call me to the shelter of your lotus feet, which are the ultimate goal of liberation from the conditional life? The Prahlad, such an exalted devotee, is saying, because of my bad activities, I'm pushed into this material world, and I had to take birth as Prahlad. Prahlad is saying that, right? And what are we? We are not even realizing that, right? And he also says combination because of combination with displeasing and pleasing circumstances, right? Because of because of separation from them, one is actually placed in the regrettable position, right? We discussed all this, right? Sitoshna Sukha Dikkeshu, right? The bad and the good that is happening, getting too much attached to this, and also the papa and punya that we do, good activities, bad activities, results of them push us to hell or heavenly planets accordingly, right? And once our punya papa gets over, we come back to earth again, fall here, right? And again undergo those miseries and everything, right? Miserable life, dukkhalayam ashashvatam, this material world is, right? And therefore, I think that only remedy is to engage in your service. Kindly instruct me in such service. So Prahlad is asking, kindly let me know what service I need to do because I need to get out of this material world. Prahlad is saying, such an exalted devotee, right? So now, because of a bodily conception of life, embodied souls neglect and are not cared by you. You cannot do anything for their betterment. Whatever remedies they accept, although perhaps temporarily beneficial, are certainly impermanent. For example, a father and mother cannot protect their child. Physician, medicine cannot relieve suffering of patient. Right? A boat on the ocean cannot protect a drowning man. Only Krishna can. Right? Only Krishna can. Do not look at the solutions that we see in the material world and think they can actually solve you. I mean, solve the problems that you're undergoing, right? Krishna has to empower. Only then anybody can help you. If I have to help a person, I need to be empowered by Krishna, right? If I don't have the energy, how will I empower, help, right? So the source is Krishna. He's doing everything behind the scenes, right? We need to see that. We need to see that person behind the scene, not on the stage, right? So, my dear Lord, now I have complete experience concerning the worldly opulence, mystic power, longevity, and other material pleasure enjoyed by all living entities, from Lord Brahma down to an ant. As powerful time, you destroy them all, eternal Kala, right? He comes and dissolves the material world, destroys. My dear Lord, I request you to place me in touch with your pure devotee and let me serve him as a sincere servant. This is what the key takeaway we need to understand from this prayer. Prahlad's prayer is devotee association is what Prahlad Maharaj is asking. Keep me in touch with your pure devotee and let me serve him as a sincere servant. Right? Now we also have opportunities to serve Prabhupada, pure devotee. How are we serving? Are we serving? By reading his purpose, we are serving him. Right? By chanting 16 rounds, we are serving him because we are following his instructions. By following the 4 regulative principles, we are serving him. By going to the temple at least once in a week, we are serving him because we are serving his disciples, disciples, right? So that way we are all serving Prabhupada, pure devotee, right? And Prahlad is saying that only. I request you to place me in touch with your pure devotee so that I can serve him sincerely and then go back home, back to Godhead. This is the remedy. Service. Vaishnava service is even powerful than Krishna, service to Krishna, right? So very, very important. This we need to learn, right? And that's why Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya, serving a Bhagavata or a pure devotee is more powerful than serving Krishna himself, right? I think we discussed the story also. Next class we will discuss, right? And now Prahlad is saying, what is my position, right? I'm born in a demoniac family, and see, right? And I have only hellish material qualities of passion and ignorance. So what is my position? Prahlad is being so humble. He's being so humble, right? And we are only having passion and ignorance, and we are not even, we go and say, I'm very good, right? Do we even realize the amount of passion and ignorance we have? Prahlad has only good qualities, and he is saying, I'm born in a demoniac family, so I have only passion and ignorance. This is called humility, right? This is called humility. Only when you see the dirt you have, you can cleanse it. If you don't even see the dirt you have, how will you cleanse it, right? So, and so what to be said of your causeless mercy, which was never offered even to Lord Brahma, Shiva, and Lakshmi Devi? You never put your lotus head upon their heads, but you put it upon my head. See how fortunate Prahlad is, right? Even Brahma, Shiva, and Lakshmi Devi did not get lotus hand of Hari on their head, but Prahlad has got it, right? So, because of my association with material desires, one after another, I was gradually falling, gradually falling into a blind well full of snakes, following the general populace. See, following the general populace. People do not read the Gita and scriptures. They have their own materialistic way of lifestyle. And what do? We follow them blindly, right? Oh, he is doing that, I will also do. That's how bad association starts, right? Oh, he's going to the pub, I will also go to the pub. What is wrong? He's doing it. No, so I will also do. This is the pop culture. This is the trend. How can I not follow the trend? Right? This is called falling into the blind well full of snakes. Prahlad is saying that, right? Prahlad is saying that. Following the general populace, we are all falling into the blind well full of snakes. But your servant Narada Muni kindly accepted me as a disciple, instructed me how to achieve this transcendental position. Therefore, my first duty is to serve him. How could I leave his service? Right? So that's why Krishna sends good people, good sons, to empower this world, like how Prabhupada came, right? Narada Muni empowered Prahlad, same way Prabhupada is empowering all of us. So we need to take it, accept it, right? And then you appear in various incarnations as human being, as animal, great saint, demigod, fish, or tortoise, maintaining an entire creation in different planetary systems and killing the demoniac principles. According to the age, oh my lord, you protect the principles of religion. In the Kali Yuga, you do not assert yourself as the supreme personality of Godhead, and therefore you are known as Sri Yuga, or the Lord who appears in the three yugas. Can you understand? Very, very, very relatable. So what is it saying? In Kali Yuga, when you come, right? In Satya Yuga, Treta Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, when Krishna came in the form of the Vishnu Tattva, right? I mean, in Dwapar Yuga, he himself came down, but he came in a form that everybody got to know that he is the Lord. But in Kali Yuga, when he came, nobody got to know that he is the Lord, right? What avatar is that? Which avatar that in Kali Yuga Krishna came as? And nobody even knows that he is God. Which avatar is that?
Chanauta.
Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah, Channa avatar. Channa avatar of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Channa avatar means secret incarnation of the Lord. Right? So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu came, and Prahlad is saying that. So many people comment, right? Oh, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is not Krishna. Simply these ISKCON people are making up stories. Prahlad is saying ISKCON did not write Srimad Bhagavatam. Got it? Prahlad, ISKCON did not go and give Prahlad say this, say that. Right? So Prahlad himself is saying, you do not assert as Lord, right? In Sri Yuga, right? In Sri Yuga, you appear as the Lord, but in Kali Yuga, you do not assert yourself in Kali Yuga, right? So that's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "I am just a devotee of the Lord. I am not the Lord." Gaura Purnima is coming, and it's a wonderful opportunity for all of you to quote this and tell people, invite them to your temples, in your local temples to attend Gaura Purnima festival. Tell them. Prahlad is only saying this. So Krishna has come down in the form of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, which is appearance day. Come, let's celebrate it together, right? And then, then Narasimha Dev was pacified with all the prayers and all that, and then he was very pleased, right? And then, Prahlad asks, for the wish to be fulfilled, right? The benediction, that is, deliver my father and all that, right? And then Narada Muni said, um, Prahlad was the best person in the family of Asuras who always aspired for material happiness, right? And nonetheless, although allured by Supreme Personality of Godhead, who offered him all benedictions for material happiness, because of his unalloyed Krishna consciousness, he did not want to take any material benefit for sense gratification, right? Narasimha Dev said, Prahlad says, take me back home, back to Godhead. I don't want to stay here, right? Narasimha Dev says, no, you need to become the king and serve the family members, and you need to serve here, and you need to rule, you need to become a king and enjoy in this material world, rule and all that, right? So that's why it is said over here, Prahlad was not even ready to take the material happiness and desires till Krishna himself gave him, right? Krishna himself gave him, like Dhruva Maharaj also, the pole star. Dhruva did not ask for it, Krishna himself gave him, right? So his desire was very little, small, but Krishna gave him a big thing, right? Oh my worshipable Lord, because the seed of lusty desires, which is the root cause of all material existence, is within the core of everyone's heart, you have sent me to this material world to exhibit the symptoms of pure devotee. This is the purpose why Prahlad Maharaj came to this world, right? Set an example for all the devotees, right? Or all of us, how to become devotees, how to survive as devotees, how to, progress as devotees, right? It's because of lusty desires, we come to this material world and we suffer, right? And here it's the same thing. Um, I think I went back, right? Yeah. The one who always remembers your activities, right? And my activities also, and who chants the prayers that you've offered, becomes free in due course of time from the reactions of material activities. This is the Shruti Pala. So we will all get this benediction because we've heard Narasimha Avatar, Narasimha Leela, right? So what does Narasimha Dev say? If people remember Prahlad's activities and Narasimha Dev's activities, and who chants the prayers that Prahlad has just offered to Narasimha Dev, then he will be free from all the reactions of material activities. Can you imagine? Right? All the sinful activities that we have, this is the Shruti Pala. This is what we will all get. We will also be freed from all the sinful activities. Right? And then the entire dynasty is purified, and this is all known. Mm, this is the benediction that Narasimha Dev gives, right? Everybody, your fathers, your forefathers, everybody will be purified and delivered, right? And what else? Yeah, so here Narasimha Dev says, you need to take charge of your father's kingdom. Do not just come back home, back to Godhead. You need to finish your responsibilities here, and then you need to rule. How should he rule? Narasimha Dev says, please keep your mind fixed upon me, and then rule over the material world. Right? Without transgressing the injunctions of the Vedas, you need to perform your duties. According to the scriptures, we need to perform our duties. We need to live our life according to the Vedas, according to what is prescribed in Srimad Bhagavatam. It is like a guide, right? And Bhagavad Gita, life manual, right? And then for that, we need to read the scriptures every day, at least one page, right? My dear Lord Brahma, oh great Lord, born from the lotus flower, just as it is dangerous to feed milk to a snake, so it is dangerous to give benedictions to demons who are by nature ferocious and jealous. I warn you not to give such benedictions to any demon again, right? So now Narasimha Dev is saying, do not give such boons to demons because they cause havoc, right? And then, and this we already saw, right? Whoever hears this narration are surely going to go back to the spiritual world where there is no anxiety. Vaikuntha. Can you imagine? Right? Whoever just listens to this Narasimha Dev's narration, no incarnation, we are going to surely go back to the spiritual world, Vaikuntha, right? Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Sarvam Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Yeah, any questions? Hmm, we are all of the same family. Yeah, we cannot have billion Naradas in this material world to focus on each individual. That is why we have spiritual masters like Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Yeah, Hare Bol. Yeah, any questions, anybody? Or anything you wanna add? No questions?
Mataji, just a request, Mataji. It
Yeah.
was a wonderful, fabulous session by you, Mataji.
Hare
We
Krishna.
could
Thank you so
feel
much.
every sentences and words, Mataji. I need a repeat. Maybe out of selfish, I'm asking you if you
Hmm.
can please do not conclude the session today, Mataji. We need a repeat session, same Narasimha Avatar, following week also, Mataji.
Following week.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay. Okay. We will focus on
Please,
the
Mataji.
prayers part of it then.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, Mataji.
Pralad's
Yes,
prayers.
yes. Hare
Okay.
Krishna. Thank you for
Is it
accepting
okay with all of you to focus more on the Prahlad prayers in detail? Is it okay with all of you?
Yes, yes, Mataji.
Okay. Nice. Hare Krishna. Very nice. Thank you all for joining.
The small one.
Sorry. Okay. Any other questions? No other questions? Then we can end. Okay. Thank you so much. Okay. वाञ्छाकल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभ्य एव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यो वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः अनंतकोटि वैष्णववृंद की जय श्रील प्रपात की जय हरे कृष्णा थैंक यू ऑल फॉर अटेंडिंग थैंक यू
Hare
ऑल
Krishna, Mataji. Hare Krishna.
हरे कृष्ण